The deload, probably one of the more misconstrued things in strength sports, whether it be bodybuilding and powerlifting. Show you how to do it, show you how to use it, and how to use it for your maximum advantage. What's going on, guys? Larry here, back again. If you are new to the channel, hey, welcome. I go by the name of Tenacitystrength on Instagram and a lot of my other social media channels, but my real name is Larry Brown. I am right now a bodybuilding hobbyist, strength sport hobbyist. I have experience of bodybuilding and powerlifting, and I'm taking a lot of subjects that are up here, breaking them down, and speaking to you guys at a base level, just making it very simple for you to understand some of these concepts that are going out online and all that good stuff. So today we're going to be talking about something that you may have heard of, but before we get into that, I encourage you to like and subscribe to the channel. A lot of good videos, a lot of good information. I, of course, am biased, and I will always remain biased to my channel. So with that being said, we're going to discuss the deload. So what is a deload? It's really a fancy name for a break. That's really what it is. Reduced volume, if you're doing a lot of volume in your workouts, whether it be sets, reps, intensity, or anything like that, that's all a systemic stress to the body. Working out is a stress to the body. So what happens is that you're going to keep raising the bar to try to get that physique that you want, but there's going to be a top that you're going to hit, and what happens is that then your body needs a break. That's where the deload comes in. So why? Because you're tired, because the poundages are going down, because you're getting little aches and pains, you're not recovering as well, you're not sleeping as well, you're not eating as well. Overtraining is not acute, all right? It just doesn't happen. It's cumulative. So things compile to get you to an overtrained state. The reason the deload comes in is because you want to stop that before it even happens, okay? So let's just say you are on week 6 of a 12-week training cycle. So everything's going well, going well, going well. By the time you get to week 8, you start to notice things, right? You start to notice, okay, hey, I'm a little bit tired, more so than usual. Hey, my elbow's starting to hurt a little bit. I mean, it wasn't hurting before, and then it just started gradually ramping up. Hey, this movement is not feeling well. I just feel stiff. By the time week 9 comes around, like you're really starting to feel it and you're trying to push through, instead of going all the way to week 12, you probably want to institute a deload around that week 10, 9.5 week mark within your training program. The body is smart. It gives warning signs as to when you're getting overtrained, and it's up to you to put in that deload. Now, I know a lot of people program it in, like this is how long your training cycle is, and this is when you need to bring down the weights, bring down the intensity. I am a believer in listen to your body, but don't be a wuss about it, right? Your body knows. Your body is, like I said, a very smart organic machine. So what you need to do is that you need to listen to it, but you also need to be real with yourself. Am I being a wuss and just trying to cop out, right? So when you're training hard, it's going to be difficult. You sometimes need to meet that difficulty with a head-on tenacity, for lack of a better word. But always remember, there is a reason why you should deload. Aches and pains, more fatigue, more so than general, not moving weights like you should. Those are all aspects that you should keep in mind when you have that why of the deload. So when you should do it, kind of broke into that. How and how much. So this is the funny thing, right? I've deloaded for, when I hit a 600-pound squat in powerlifting, I deloaded for 2 weeks. It was a very stressful time. Community college, finals, low funds, low food. It was a very stressful time in my life at that point. Weights wasn't moving. I hit my openers, and I just was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to take a 2-week deload, and I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna do alternative movements. I'm gonna do bodybuilding movements. I'm gonna get extra sleep. I'm gonna try to get extra food, but I just want to reduce my stress down to, and then I just want to really hit the meat really hard. Well, I ended up getting a 600-pound squat. I was 10 pounds away from a 400-pound in competition bench. Deadlift was over 600. 9 for 9 that day. Ended up getting best lifter. That is not, I am not the sample size of the population. For that particular meet, on that particular year, I was an exception. So how to do it? You really just, again, have to listen to your body. Have to have that body awareness. What I would do for deload is that if you are a bodybuilder, I would reduce volume to however low you can get it and not sacrifice any of the gains in strength and size that you have. And if you're a power lifter, I would definitely reduce the amount of weight, the amounts of sets, the amount of reps that you're doing. Basically, a good rule of thumb, cut everything 25 to 50%. And if you're already doing low volume, you kind of have to figure that out. It's going to take some thinking, maybe a rotation of movements. But a good rule of thumb is cut it down 50%. Now, here's another thing that you need to think about is that when we get into considerations, do you really need a deload? And the reason I say that is if you're an advanced trainer, then you should probably be already conditioned to a lot of this stuff, right? For you to continuously make progress, you always have to stress the body a little bit more. And I'm going to kind of contradict myself from the first point. You have to make your body adapt to the stress that you're putting on it. So if you have a 12-week training cycle and you're not preparing for a meet and you're not doing any type of bodybuilding prep or anything like that, yes, a deload is great. But what I want you to think about and what I want to challenge you to is that instead of taking a deload, how about you just cut the volume down, cut the weight down a little bit, but rotate the movements, right? So you can get a new stress in there, and it's a different pattern movement, it's a different movement altogether. And that way you have something that you can adapt to, and it's not going to kill your progress, right? So if I'm doing regular squats and I'm up to, God, what's a good weight for me right now? 405. If I get up to 405 and I do 2 sets of 3. Okay, so instead of deloading, I got all my assistance work and my assistance work is going well, but I know I need to deload this squat. So what do? Instead of just taking everything down, I'm going to keep my assistance work up. I'm going to move into a different squatting pattern. So that may even be a hack squat, that may even be a safety bar squat, that may even be a box squat. I'm rotating the movement to keep me progressing, because if my assistance work is going good, if the work outside of a main lift is going good, because I believe even bodybuilders should have a main lift or a couple of main lifts during their training program. If that main lift is starting to stall out, but all the assistance work, all the extra pump work is going extra well, then I'm not going to like take a deload and not progress on that, because I still want to progress on the assistance work, but also at the same time I want to chill out on the main work. Then I'm going to rotate the movement. I know that's probably not going to be a popular take, but it's something that has worked for me. If I am doing very well on the dumbbell press, and that's my main movement, but then I start to stall back, then I'm just going to go to a bar or to a plate loaded machine like I've been doing with hammer strength. And then I'm just going to keep everything else the same and just slowly push it into new levels and keep this flat dumbbell bench press. I'm just going to pull that back, or I'm actually just going to rotate it out. So that's something to think about, is that, do you really need it? Do you just need to rotate the stress and then go back to the main lift after some time off? That's just something to think about. I know it's not going to be popular. I know a lot of people are probably going to be rolling their eyes like, oh, this fucking dude. But that's just something to consider. So please consider it. Final thoughts. Again, when you're talking about a deload, for 99.9% of the population, the following question you have to ask yourself is, do I train hard enough for a deload? 9 times out of 10 is probably going to be yes, right? You want to take some time off from the gym. You want to, chill out a little bit. All well and good. But what I want you all to understand is that the deload is not magical. You almost have to attack it as, you have to rest hard. That's the best way to do it. You have to rest hard. You have to force yourself to not do things. If you're binging, if you think the deload is a good time for you to binge out on Netflix and go to bed late, I'm sorry to tell you, that is the absolute wrong thing you should do. You should be trying to get more rest. You should be trying to stay tight on the diet. You should try to get in some stretching. You should try to get in some alternate forms of light exercise to help your system recover. With that being said, always question, am I training hard enough for a deload? And if the answer is yes, take it. If the answer is no, then don't. But if you have a coach, please follow that coach's advice. Answer that coach's questions. Make sure that you're communicating with them in a way that is positive and constructive, so you are able to get the most out of the deload, and then you can go into your next training cycle with a fresh mind, with a fresh body, and everything feels good. All right, guys, I'm all done. Early morning here in Minnesota, but I thank you all for watching. I appreciate your time. Again, like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be pumping out more content. Trip to Chicago next week, so going to be checking out Quad's gym, Lockout Fitness, and maybe another gym out in the northwest suburbs. We'll see. That's pending. But excited to bring you content from there. So, guys, thanks a lot. Hope to talk to you all soon, and you all have a great day.